Right, so first things first, if you want to see my other videos on writing, on the video you're at, you'll see my name. Click on that. Then click on playlist. And then you can see my playlist here. You can see my other videos on writing. I have some here, and I added a new one here at the bottom on point of view. And the other one's on story structure and plot. Okay, so I have here just something you guys can look at while I'm talking and then typing stuff down on Word. If I can get it going. So a romance, the main thing about a romance is tension. Tension's important. Tension is what really makes a romance. Romance is not about love making. It's about not being able to make love when the characters want to. So first, before we get into it, why would you want to write romance? If you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would have ever thought I would enjoy writing romance or would be writing it, I would say no way. My first romance novel was Bending Nature, and it's kind of an action, not an action adventure, it's kind of an adventure romance set in a fantasy world with these extraterrestrials that are on Earth that are sort of like vampires. The romance I'm writing now is conventional. It's a contemporary romance called Age for Love. You can see the first 5 chapters on WeBook. And so the reason why you might want to write romance is because it's actually quite fun to write. So give it a shot first, and before you make any judgments whether you like it or not. So what are the different kinds of tension you can have? Because that's what draws people into a romance. That's what makes them want to keep turning the pages. Is that tension between the two characters? That first before the tension's there, first there is, well, I guess this is still tension. Are they going to get together? And sometimes you can have 2 guys, for example, to try to throw a little suspense and what guy she can end up choosing type of thing. So the first tension I guess that's created in a romance is going to be they meet each other. You're reading a romance, so you know she's going to end up loving somebody, or that he's going to end up loving somebody. And it's that seeing how they interact and seeing how they treat each other and why, and then wondering if they're going to hit it off or not. But the thing is, they're going to hit it off. But if it's done right, if there's tension there between the two characters, then you're kind of left feeling like the character. Are they going to get together? Are they going to work this out? And so that's why you need something that keeps them apart at first. What is the thing that keeps the two characters apart? Why is it unlikely they're going to get together? It could be that the guy just got divorced and he's not looking for love, and so you see them hanging out and you're wondering, well, are they actually going to develop a love interest? And that's why throwing a second character in and having 2 guys in her life or 2 girls in his life. Usually romances are centered around a female protagonist, though. That can make you really wonder which guy she's going to get. Once the spark has started, once the 2 characters are clearly into each other, how do you continue to keep that tension going? Well, that's where this comes in play. Now they want to make love, but something needs to keep them from making love. You need some sort of tension to keep them from making love. And this is why I think Twilight was so successful. Because Twilight is really a romance. Think about it. What would be the greatest thing keeping 2 people from making love? From getting together, from being able to share each other, from being able to touch each other? Would be death. That's like the greatest thing that can happen. If you come together, one of you will die. And so in Twilight, the danger of them coming together is that Edward might kill her. The smell of her blood draws him to her, or draws her to him, and he wants to drain her of her life. He wants so badly to taste her blood, and he knows if he does, he probably won't be able to stop. He'll end up killing her. So the danger there, that which is keeping them apart, keeping them from being able to kiss and touch and be together and to, to make love, is death. That, he might kill her. That builds a lot of tension, because what could be greater than that? And I think that's why Twilight works so well. Well, there's other things too. There's actually other ways you could build that tension with death being the outcome. For example, say one of the parents, let's say the girl's dad, is kind of crazy, and he I don't know, he owns a lot of guns, he's ex-military man, and he threatens the guy and tells him, if you get with my daughter, I will kill you. And the daughter tells the guy that she likes that he's serious. My dad is crazy. He might kill you, but he doesn't care. He's willing to risk his life, and he keeps coming around. And she's like, no, seriously, you gotta just leave me alone. You can't keep coming around. And I'm trying to give you guys something else to watch, but I wish this video was longer. It's hard to find just nothing videos on here. I guess I could find like nature pictures being cycled. Anyway, so you have that tension there, and he keeps wanting to come around, and she's like, I love you, I want to be with you, but we can't. I don't want you to get hurt. My dad will kill you. And so you can keep building that that tension between them, and so the whole time they're together, you're wondering, oh no, are they going to get caught? And so with a story like that, you want to make sure that the father's just around the corner a lot, and so they're constantly wondering if the father's going to catch them, if he's going to find out. And maybe he's like, well, let's just run away and let's be together. And another way you can build the tension with death being the result is maybe, or where death I guess death is kind of the result. What if one of them, this is actually interesting, I'm not sure if a story's ever been done like this. What if one of them have AIDS? And so if they get together, if they end up making love, the chances that the person will contact AIDS is there, even if they use protection. And that can actually make an interesting story. And Romeo and Juliet, and I think the reason why that story works so well and is successful, the thing that keeps them apart is society. So they're in two different kinds of worlds, and this formula has been used over and over and over again, and especially in historical romances. The girl is in poverty, the guy is some rich duke or something, and I don't really like historical romances. I like contemporary romances myself. Anyway, the tension is good because that builds a huge tension. He's risking everything. He's risking his popularity, his maybe even his job to be with this girl, and she doesn't feel like she belongs, and she's not worthy, and so that builds a lot of tension as they get to know each other, and you're wondering if they're going to be able to work out and how they're going to work it out. There's so many ways to build tension. It's really limitless. There's this novel where the tension is built where it's a contemporary romance, and they're doing they're both experimenting, or they're both part of a scientific experiment with some serum to see if I can't remember what it does, but it's something with love making. And so they start out just being part of this experiment, but then they start to fall for each other, but then they're not supposed to be together because they'll lose their jobs. I don't know, I can't remember what it is, but that's one way, another way to build tension. Okay, so I guess I'm almost done with the time limit, so I'll go ahead and wrap up this segment. I guess I'll have to do a part 2 to it. I was hoping to cover what I wanted to with how to write a romance in one video, but oh well. Okay, so come back for part 2.